if you're thinking about going through Angie's or another lead provider, I want you to check out this video. So, some lead providers can be useful. I want to start off by saying that. And I'm not here to knock other business models. There's a couple of guys who do exclusive leads that I think do a really good job. I would put a preference on companies like that or people like that first if you're looking for a lead provider. But I kind of wanted to get some stuff off my chest because there's been a thing that we've been dealing with lead providers with our Google Ads. It's really frustrating and wanted to bring it to everybody's attention, especially guys who are new who are looking into this sort of stuff. All right. So the downside to a companies like Angie's, Home Advisor, who they've kind of blended together now, and Thumbtack, which I think out of the three is actually the better option in most markets. But I digress on that. Something that I want to get off my chest, especially with Angie's, is the level of intensity that they use to sell. All right. It's extremely frustrating for somebody in my position who runs Google Ads or is trying to put our companies in the right place. And these companies will actually click the ads and call them to try and sell them. I think it's very disrespectful, number one, and it's a very shady sales tactic, number two. They know what they're doing because they run ads themselves. So because of that, I'm going to put together this video and talk about some of the things they do that I don't agree with, which is including that. So if you're new and you're looking into a company like this, like an Angie's, one of the things you need to look at is what kind of ads are they running in your area to generate business and send those leads to you. All right. So understand that one, if you're running Google Ads, that they're actually competing against you because they're running Google Ads as well. All right. And then two is the fact that they run ads for things that you really don't want. Okay. So a lot of times I'll look and I've seen multiple areas where free junk removal, the first thing that pops up is Angie's with an ad for free junk removal or cheap junk removal. Which, by the way, if you're running Google Ads, are keywords you want to avoid, all right, and mark them as negative keywords. But they're literally running ads to get leads for free junk removal and cheap junk removal and then sending them to you guys at a cost. That's absolutely ridiculous. Because what's the likelihood that any of those people are going to pay? And on top of that, if that wasn't bad enough, they're going to send that lead and charge you and a couple of your competitors in the area. So this business model is very cheap, in my opinion, and it's something that most people should avoid. Now, granted, I've had a few people who have had some success with Angie's, with some of these companies. Thumbtack probably the most of those major companies. But you need to really do your research beforehand and don't fall for their shady sales tactics where somebody hops on the phone with you, calls, acts like they're a customer, which is exactly what they do, by the way. They'll call, act as if they're a customer looking to get junk removed. And then once you start to answer some questions, we'll say, all right, great. We'll actually have some homeowners who are looking to have junk removed in your area. Let me sign you up. All of it's shady. That should be a sign right there of what's to come. All right. And they're super aggressive. They call constantly. Some of my guys will tell them off. They'll cuss them out. They'll tell them put us on a do not call list. And then another rep's calling them 2 days later. So if you're new, I want to put this warning out there for you now. It might sound like a deal. It might sound like something good or cheap. Usually, it costs you more money than it brings in. And it's because of the way that they do business, because of the way that they're running ads for free junk removal and cheap junk removal. It's because of the fact that they're sending that lead to you and multiple competitors. So if you are looking for someone who supports that pay-per-lead model, it's not us, but there are a couple of good people that I would recommend for that model. And if you ever are looking for something like that, reach out to me and I'll suggest those people to you. Because there are a few who might have your market open that do a pay-per-lead model that I think are in the business for the right reasons and look out for their people and do a good job. But I do not recommend most of the major companies for the reasons that I just stated, other than maybe Thumbtack. That's about the only one. And that's because I've actually heard good things about Thumbtack in other areas. With that being said, I've also heard some negative, so it's hit or miss, but at least there's been some positive. Whereas the other ones, I've heard just about nothing but negative, and the way that they operate is completely shady. You know, I never had Thumbtack call my people and click on their ads and call them to sell them. I've never had that. Never seen that for me. So hopefully this helps somebody who's looking into more of a lead generation type situation, because the last thing I want to see some of you new guys do is be willing to invest and get with a company like this and lose your money and then be afraid to invest with another company moving forward that could actually help you grow your business. So I hope this helps some of the guys who are a little newer. If it did, I'd love if you give this video a like. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I want to continue to help you guys in any way that I can. Thanks.